So, black women, I've started reading this book. And baby, the fuckery and the raccoonery has it's already started. So just so y'all can understand the passage that I'm about to read, the year is 1954. 1954. Eldridge Cleaver is 18 years old when he goes to jail for the first time. Okay? And the reason he went to jail is because he loved to. Okay? He literally says in the book that that was like his favorite thing to do. He just loved to. Okay? So he gets caught and he goes to jail for that. All right? While he's in jail, he realizes that he's not married, he doesn't have a girlfriend, so he can't get conjugal visits like the other inmates. So what does he do? He finds a white woman photo in a magazine and places it on his wall. And a white security guard tells him, hey, you need to take that down. And he's like, why? And he's like, hey, find a picture of a black woman and put her on there. And then he says he cusses the YT man out. Okay. I need to make sure y'all are following the story. So Eldridge Cleaver has a huge hatred towards YT men and all of the racism and the prejudice and things like that. Because like I said, this is the 1950s, right? So he develops this huge hatred for white men, but not for the women. The white woman is, that's his way out. I find that so interesting. You hated white men but loved white women. So here is the part in the book that just it confirms everything that I've ever said about black men. Okay? Pay attention. He says, one afternoon when a large group of Negroes was on the prison yard shooting the breeze, I grabbed the floor and posed the question, which did they prefer, white women or black? Some said Japanese women were their favorite. Others said Chinese. Some said European women. Others said Mexican women. They all stated a preference. And I find it very interesting that he used the word preference because that's what we use today to describe non-black women. He said, and they generally freely admitted their dislike for black women. Do y'all see that? I don't want nothing black but a Cadillac, said one. If money was black, I wouldn't want none of it, put another. Did y'all see that? This was 1954, a time where blacks were fighting for equality and black men were hating us back then. I just need y'all to let that resonate with you, black women. Black men had such a disdain towards how white men were treating them that instead of them fighting the white man, they chose to hate black women instead. They've been on this type of time. That's why when I was 17, noticing this in my high school, I had no idea that it was nothing new. They've been on this type of time. Black men have always had a disdain towards black women. It's nothing new. It's just gotten worse. It's always been there. So I was very wise at a young age to recognize that in the late 90s. But this was 1954. This was the fucking 50s. So let me know what y'all think about that. I'm definitely going to be reading the rest of this. I know I'm probably going to have to pray because it's going to be hard finishing this book because it's already starting off with some raccoonery shit. But one thing I'll say about this book, it's nice to hear black men be honest about their self-hatred. He's a perfect example of it. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. This is a good question. She asks, but what did we do to them? Why do they hate us so much? I don't get it. And this is why I encourage Black women to look into your history. Okay. Um, we didn't do anything to Black men. Okay. Black women didn't do a damn thing to Black men. Black men simply hated the way that white men treated them. And instead of fighting white men, they chose to take it out on us instead. That's really the simple answer. That's it. That's all. Like, people like to bring up the welfare system and how Black women chose welfare over the Black man. I need y'all to understand that Black men were self-hating all the way back to the 1800s. Okay, that was well before welfare. Okay, go back to the Moors. Go back to the Moors, where Black men in the 1800s were having white women as their lover, and the Black woman was the one that was cooking for them. Go back to the Moors. Go back to the music in the early 1800s, where there were literal songs, okay, of Black men calling Black women blackie and saying how they didn't want nothing that was too black. Yeah, that's back in the 1800s. That was back in the 1800s. That was before Martin Luther King, before Malcolm X. Jack Johnson, the boxer, in 1912 married 3 different white tea women, one of which unalived herself because she couldn't deal with being with a Black man. Black men have always been this way. And it is because of the self-hatred that lies in so many of them. The way that white tea men treated Black men and their dark skin, Black men turned right around and did the same thing to Black women. Because they hate who they are and their position in society, they take it out on Black women. Because Black women remind Black men of who they are. Because when they look at us, they see themselves. And they don't like who they are because of the way that the world has treated them. So Black women didn't do a damn thing to Black men. To be honest with you, we should have stopped having their children over 200 years ago, and we could have solved this problem a long time ago had Black women stopped having children for Black men, because they definitely don't deserve them. Because the self-hating pathology in Black men lies deep. It is literally generational. And there's going to be very few Black men who do not turn out that way. That is the reality that most Black women don't want to face, but I'm going to make you face it on my platform. The majority of Black men are going to grow up to be this way. And the ones who aren't, here's the thing about the ones who aren't self-hating. They made a choice not to be. Let me say that again. The Black men out here who are not self-hating, they actually made a conscious decision not to be. Because at the end of the day, it is a choice to hate your own people. Nobody can make you do that. I don't give a damn how others treated you. Nobody can make you do anything that you don't already want to do. So that's why I don't buy into, oh, it's the system made them this way. Every Black man is not this way. I have dated Black men. I have had conversations with many Black men who would never, they have no interest in dating outside the race. They would never tear down the women in their own community because they chose not to be like the rest of these self-hating niggas. So it is a choice. And that's why my issues and my anger will always be towards black men. It's not going to be towards the white man. I don't give a damn what system was put in place. My anger is towards the men who do the harm, not the men who planned and put a system in place for somebody to do the harm. My anger is going to be for the motherfuckers that's actually doing the harm, and that's black men. It's black men. So my issue has always been and will always be with black men. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be a better man, you will just simply be a better man. If you want to love the women and protect the women in your community, you will simply do that. Nobody can stop your black ass from protecting the women in your community. Because I know black men who will do just that. So black women didn't do anything to black men. Black men do not like who they are. They are weak as a collective group. They are conquered bucks. And instead of fighting the system that tried to hold them down, they choose to take it out on the weaker group of people, and that is black women. That's the best way I can sum that up for you, sis. All right, hope that answers your question. First of all, I want to start this video off by saying I'm proud of black women because I'm seeing videos where black women are paying more attention to celebrity black men who date outside the race, and we are obviously deciding not to support those men, right? We've been talking about this for years, but I'm actually starting to see more black women point it out, and that is a start. Okay, so I want to first of all say, black women, I'm proud of y'all, okay, because it does matter. Okay, and I'm not arguing that with nobody. All right, so I bring this up because people are talking about how Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, who played in his movie Michael, had made comments in the past about how he doesn't date blackies. That's the word I keep seeing. I guess he called us blackies. But I want to remind black women of this. Jafar Jackson's mother is Colombian. Okay, so he is technically biracial. Okay, he is the son of Jermaine Jackson, who is a black man, and his mother is Colombian. So he's mixed race. He didn't come from a black woman. And I told y'all that that matters because most biracial men with a non-black mom typically do not date black women anyway. Remember, I told y'all that. That is a fact. Okay? So it doesn't surprise me. I'm not surprised because he's a mixed race man with a Colombian mom. So his loyalty is not going to lie with black women. So for me, it would be different if he was a 100% black man who had a black mom. But he doesn't. So it doesn't bother me that he doesn't date black women because his mother is not black. Okay? I just want to help y'all out a little bit. Like, try not to be too offended because he's going to date either what his mother is or anything other. Okay? He's a biracial man, y'all. Most biracial men, like I said in a previous video, black women have a better chance of marrying a white man than they do a biracial man. That is a fact. All right? So don't take it personal, y'all. But I'm glad that black women are paying attention to that. Good work, ladies. Good work.
I was talking about some, how come you don't like Asian women? Why you discriminate against your own race? First of all, I never said I discriminate against my own race. I never said that shit. I just said I prefer women that's not Asian. Second of all, I'm a petty-ass motherfucker. You feel me? I'm a petty-ass motherfucker. You know why? Because I remember them days of women, Asian women, talking about some, I don't date Asian men. I don't like Asian men. I like white boys. You know what I'm saying? Talking about some, they look like my brother. I will never date my own kind. Listen, Asian women be the main ones dating outside their race. I hope y'all know that. When y'all looking at the marriage statistics and the dating statistics, The main group that be dating out their race is Asian women. By far. It's not even goddamn close. You see what I'm saying? Asian women never found Asian men to be attractive. So I'm a petty ass motherfucker. They want to be petty like that. I'm finna be petty. The fuck? Who else look out to you? You feel me? But I say all that. I'm still not going to discriminate. If there's a fine ass Asian girl to come my way, I'm not going to discriminate.
I like this dude. I like him. It's very interesting, black women, because Asian men go through a lot of the same shit that we go through as black women. Black men are the most self-hating group of men on the face of this earth. They date outside their race 3 times the rate that other races of men do. That's why most biracial children that have black in them, the father is black. Because black men just can't help but go out here and spread their seed across the entire nation. Okay? And when it comes to the women who date outside the race the most, from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it is Asian women. So to me, they are Asian women collectively, not all. They have the same pathology that black men have, where they think anything is better than their own. And I just think that is so disgusting, in my opinion. It's really sad. He is not the first Asian man that I've heard talk about this. There was another Asian man about maybe 6 years ago that was on YouTube that did a whole video about how Asian women treat Asian men. They're not really attracted to them. And the comment that he made, where he said that Asian women would tell him growing up that they don't like their own kind because it reminds them of a family member. That reminds me of this basic looking white girl that I knew. I just knew her from passing, okay? There was a place I used to go to and I would see her. And when I say plain Jane, she was probably 4'9", short, just didn't wear makeup, no earrings, just pale as I don't know what, and had the audacity to say that she don't date white men because they remind her of her uncles and brothers. The same thing black men say. That's the same thing black men say. Oh, I don't date black women because it reminds me of my sister and my aunt. Like, you motherfuckers sound stupid as shit. Get some fucking help. So I understand exactly what he's saying. Growing up, Asian women didn't really find him attractive. So now he got a little swag to him. And he is open to other races of women that probably, the way Asian women treated him when he was young, that probably left a bad taste in his mouth. But I do like how he says he would still date one, okay? Because that's the same with me. Black men as a collective group are disgusting to me with how they treat black women. But I would still date a black man if he was a decent man. You see what I'm saying? It's just I'm not in love with black men. Okay, they've done too much damage to black women for me to ever love them as a collective group. It's never gonna happen over here. So I can relate to that and what he's saying, and I think a lot of black women can relate to that because that's what we deal with when it comes to black men. A black man would choose a 600-pound white girl over me, as fine as I am. Okay, and it has nothing to do with that's what he's attracted to. It's the self-hate, her skin, her being a white woman is what makes her valuable. Okay, and I think that's what he's saying, how Asian women treated him. You know, it's just the similarities between Asian men and black women is so like this, and this is why I say black women need to be more open to also dating Asian men. Okay. And I'm going to give you an example.
Sunny! I can't see. Come on! You can do it! We didn't do our burpees, Miss Man. We got a burp.
Smile so they can see.
Thank you so much, TT. Steph says she knows I'm here. Look at these little feeties. Oh, I tickled you. I'm sorry. All right, let's do our burpees. So.
Did y'all see that beautiful couple and that beautiful baby? Okay, I follow them on TikTok, so If y'all can see the name there, follow them. But I love seeing more couples of black women with Asian men. I think that we can bond on that. Just that alone, just the fact that our counterparts are so self-hating. I think it's a beautiful thing. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. That Asian man didn't, he told not a single lie.
So I want to talk about biracial people really quick, if I may. Because I notice on this app, there's a lot of biracial women who really feel the need to prove their blackness. Sis, you're not black, you're mixed. And it's something I only notice with biracial women. I don't really see this with biracial men. But we need to understand the difference between black and biracial. And we need to be open about giving biracial people their own space. Because the reality of it is if you have a white mom and a black dad, and I have a black mom and a black dad, we're not the same, boo. We're not the same. And that's okay. And the thing is that biracial women are very smart. They already know that when they come into the black community, that black men are going to put them on this pedestal above regular black women. They know this very well. So if that's the case, then that automatically means that we're not the same. Okay? You're getting put above me because your hair is curlier and your eyes are lighter, and so and let's be very clear. The only men that's out here checking for mixed race women at an alarming rate is black men. You don't hear white men saying, "Oh, I need me a mixed chick." You don't hear Latinos saying, "I need me a mixed chick." The only ones you hear saying they need a mixed chick is black men. I remember there is this biracial girl that I met a while ago. And her mother is white and her dad is black. And I made it very clear to her, as long as we hang out, it's cool. But I'm letting you know that you are a biracial woman to me. I do not see you as a black woman. Now, you can see yourself as a black woman, but I will never see you as a black woman. And if you can respect that, then we can hang out. Okay? I made that very clear to her. And I really suggest other black women do the same. I remember growing up, there were these three beautiful mixed chicks. They were half Hispanic and half black. And I didn't understand that back then when I was 8 or 9 years old. I just knew they were light skinned. And all the black boys just thought they were beautiful. Their father was Mexican and their mother was black. And their last name was the Martinez. And it wasn't until I got older that I realized that they were mixed. And that's why all the boys loved them. So there is a difference between black and biracial. And we need to be very clear about that and know how to draw the line. We're not the same. And that's okay.
This is why we say there is a huge difference between biracial women specifically who have black moms versus non-black moms. This is the reason.
I responded with my opinion, and she immediately went into attacking my father. Like, ma'am, you're bitter. You're bitter. If you're bitter and can't keep a man, just say that. Like, you're mad and you're bitter and you're triggered by biracial people's existence. Obviously, and you think you're intimidating something, baby. You're not. If you were in my face, this is what I'm gonna tell you. Girl, shut up. You're not intimidating.
Girl, I am petty as the fuck. And I do not care about your cry-racial tears. You sound crazy right now. You are triggered because I called you biracial, and that's what you are. Point blank, period. And I'll say that to your face. I said what I said. Have a blessed one. Alicia Keys.
Okay, so you came into my comment section going back and forth with all my followers, crying about me saying that I will tell anybody, a biracial person, it doesn't matter who you are, to your face that you're biracial. Now you're saying that you're biracial. I'm confused now. Yes, you are biracial. I'm glad that you finally admitted that. I don't have an issue with biracials as a collective. I am a black woman who dates all races of men. And I tell black women to open up their options to all groups of men. So if I encourage that, that means that biracial children will still be born from black women as well. The difference is, and I stand on this, is that typically biracials with black moms are more grounded. They just are. That is statistically a fact. Okay? That's not to say all, but we're talking about most. You were offended by that, which you have every right to be, but this is my platform. I don't bow down to anybody. Okay? I said what I said. You're biracial. Okay? I will never see you as black. And that is my prerogative. And it ain't a person in the world that can do a damn thing about it. I said what I said. And I'll say it to your face. So thank you for finally admitting what I've been saying the entire time. All right? Have a good day now. Stop crying all over my page.
Is it that I do connect with black men easier than I connect with white men? Yeah. I connect with that rawness and that depth. And I've found that a lot of, the white men that I've dated, it is a lot of performative. And, I appreciate the like honesty and the, I don't know, there's like a rawness to me. And maybe that's why, maybe it just goes back to my childhood and like yearning for that level of acceptance.
And realness and just authenticity.
I can tell you exactly why white women connect with black men. The first reason being the fact that on the social hierarchy, white T women understand one very important thing, that y'all are more powerful above black men. You understand that being white T is going to be way more valuable than the black man that you're dating. So right there, you understand that you are above him. And because you're above him, he's going to worship you. That's what white women understand. The second thing you understand as a white T woman is that whatever white T men do not find attractive about you, because I can already look at you and tell that most white men, the ones who actually matter in society, they're not looking for you. And I know that as a black woman who's dated white men. They're not going to choose you. So because you know that, you already know that black men will. See, that's what you learned. Whatever the white man don't want, the black man will take. You're valuable to black men. And that takes me into the next part of this, where you understand the self-hatred that most black men have for their own women, which is why they look for women like you in the first place. Because you represent something that black men will never have: power. You understand that? Black men feel like they are powerful when they have a woman like you standing by their side. Because most of them are self-hating. So as long as you got that white skin, it don't matter what you look like. You're a prize to most black men. Also, I noticed that you said there's an honesty and a rawness about you that white T men, I guess, don't understand, but that black men do. So you associate being tough and having a plight with black men and trying to act like you have one yourself, even though you don't. In my opinion, white T women do not have a struggle. There's nothing about y'all that says struggle, other than the way that some of y'all look. But when we talk about your culture, white women ain't never had to struggle as a collective group, because the men that you come from put you on the highest of pedestals, gave you the best protection so that you wouldn't have to. So the fact that you're associating your realness and your rawness with black men is very interesting to me. I find that very interesting. Also, as a black woman who's dated outside of my race, I have been around a lot of white tea women who date black men, and I can tell you from personal experience, Smex is probably the number one indicator in y'all's relationship. It's the biggest thing y'all talk about. White tea women talking about how big his schlong is, and black men talking about how good y'all can suck it. So that's another way that y'all seem to connect, smexually, which is honestly fetishization. It's nothing more than fetishization. So we need to be very clear about that. And probably one of the biggest connections that white tea women and black men seem to have is their jealousy and hatred towards black women. That's the biggest connection y'all have. It's one of the main reasons y'all get together in the first place. But I notice y'all never mention that. Y'all never seem to mention that. And what I find interesting about all the ways that I said that white women and black men connect, which is what you said in the very beginning of the video, with all those ways that y'all seem to connect and like each other, y'all still seem to have the highest divorce rates. White tea women and black men are the most failed relationship. For the most part, y'all don't even last long. So I think it's time that y'all sit with each other and go through all the ways that y'all actually connect and figure out why y'all can't seem to make it work. Why is it that white women who get with black men at some point eventually end up being a single mom with all them connections that y'all got? Y'all never really seem to last. That's the part that's so interesting to me. But carry on, though. This is a